Picture keeping your carrots crisp and your tomatoes perfectly fresh for months without ever plugging in a refrigerator. We'll build 5 off-grid systems using dirt, damp sand, wood ash, and beeswax to keep your harvest pristine without electricity. You have to bury the pile in dirt, but if you forget to add one specific handful of straw, the whole harvest will cook itself to death. And later, we'll show you how the leftover ash from your fire pit acts like microscopic shards of glass to protect your food. The secret to preserving your hard-earned harvest might just be burying it under the exact same dirt you just pulled it from. Burying unwashed root crops in sand keeps them fresh for 4 to 6 months at temperatures between 32 and 40 degrees Fahrenheit. You can eat homegrown, crisp carrots in the dead of winter without paying for a second freezer. To build this, you need a 14 to 18-inch deep wooden crate or plastic bin that drains well, and you must use clean builder sand. You have to completely avoid salty beach sand, which will instantly kill your winter food supply. Trim the greens to 1 inch, sandwich the roots between 2-inch layers of moistened sand, and cap the crate with a 4-inch top layer. This exact packing geometry is the difference between a crisp root and a rotten mess. The sand acts as a physical wall, exactly like packing fragile glasses in foam peanuts so they can't bump into each other. If one carrot starts to fail, the sand traps the spores, microscopic seeds that grow into fungus, acting like dandelion seeds blowing in the wind. Because the mold cannot jump to its neighbors, a single rotten vegetable won't wipe out your entire stored harvest. If you have massive crop yields, you can build an outdoor fridge right in the field without building a single structure. We start by stacking root vegetables, largest at the bottom, in a 1-meter mound on a 6 to 8-inch layer of straw, covering them in more straw and burying the whole thing under 6 inches of soil. But you have to leave a tuft of straw sticking out the top as a chimney. If you forget this one step, the vegetables will suffocate in their own heat. The chimney works exactly like an exhaust pipe that vents heat out of an underground engine. Without it, the pile traps ethylene gas, an invisible ripening perfume that tells nearby fruits to soften. It also traps metabolic heat, which is the warmth created by living plant cells as they breathe, feeling just like body heat, but coming from a pile of living vegetables. If the mound cannot breathe, the trapped heat and moisture speed up respiration. This is the process of a living plant taking in air and releasing moisture, like sweating in a heavy winter coat. One minor design flaw here will turn a year's worth of food into a rotting, mushy disaster in a matter of days. The waste left over from your fireplace is actually a highly alkaline chemical weapon against food rot. Packing fresh red tomatoes in sifted wood ash preserves them for up to 3 months. The secret is that the ash is approximately 25% calcium carbonate, the same chalky mineral compound that makes up antacids or eggshells. This creates an extreme alkaline environment, harsh like baking soda, where rot-causing bacteria and mold simply cannot survive on the food's skin. To traditional storage pests like weevils and grain borers, crawling through fine wood ash is a death sentence. It is like crawling through microscopic shards of glass that shred their armor. The ash tears open their exoskeletons, a bug's suit of armor, and acts as a desiccant, sucking away moisture, just like those little silica gel packets in a new shoebox. You can naturally pest-proof your pantry without toxic sprays. If building closed-loop biological systems is your goal, we design them every week. This ash technique isn't just theory. Farmers in parts of West Africa historically use this exact ash coating method to protect yams from pests and rot during long, harsh dry seasons. Sometimes you just need to get the plant out of the soil and hang it upside down. Suspending tomatoes or an upside-down pepper plant on a string with the roots still attached forces the fruit to pull the very last drops of water and nutrients from the dying vine. You can squeeze extra flavor and lifespan out of plants you have already pulled from the ground. This hanging method works wonders on alliums, the pungent bulb family containing onions and garlic. Hanging onions and garlic in a dry breeze shrinks their necks and dries the outer layers into a tight, papery shield that naturally fights off rot. Just a few days in the wind turns a vulnerable bulb into a long-lasting staple. Dipping produce in melted beeswax, a technique used by ancient Greeks, literally pauses the aging process of your fruits. The wax plugs up the stomata, the microscopic breathing mounts on the skin of a leaf or fruit. It is exactly like putting a cork in a bottle, so the water cannot evaporate. This traps the internal moisture, so the fruit cannot dry out and wrinkle, bringing the respiration rate, how quickly a balloon leaks its air, to an absolute standstill. Sailors in the 18th and 19th centuries relied heavily on this trick. They used beeswax and tallows, which is rendered beef fat used like candle wax, to keep apples and hard cheeses perfectly fresh during months-long ocean voyages. If a shiny, wax-sealed apple survived months on a salty wooden ship, it will easily survive in your off-grid pantry. And here is the wild part. This ash trick isn't just for vegetables. You can actually entomb an entire block of Gruyere cheese in 1 to 1.5 inches of sifted wood ashes inside a stoneware crock to keep it perfectly edible without power. These ancient outdoor methods do carry real risks. A sudden, unexpected hard freeze can still wipe out a dirt-stored crop, meaning you have to monitor your local weather patterns carefully to succeed. And burrowing rodents will view an underground field clamp as an all-you-can-eat buffet, making physical pest traps an absolute requirement when storing food outside. Ready to scale up your biological independence? Click the video on your screen to learn how to build a zero-waste, self-feeding pond. Refrigerators rot food. True biological independence means engineering ecosystems that do the preservation for you. If you liked this, 7 ways to stop garden pests without pesticides or chemicals, that's the next one.